what do you, where am I, are there any like business dudes here, tax dudes or business dudes here? Is this really, whoops, is this really going to be as complicated as it looks? Oh, it's this right here. If I want to do the filing to finally start a corporation, do I really need all these fucking forms? Are you fucking serious? Why not incorporate in Luxembourg or Delaware? Because I live in Nebraska. Why didn't I want to incorporate in Luxembourg or Delaware? Don't you have to be, I thought the LLCs you can do, so the LLCs you can file elsewhere. The way that because if I make a corporation, eventually I want to get S-Corp filing status for the corporation. And if I want to get S-Corp filing status for the corporation, that means that all of the taxes paid on that corporation is passed through to employees and shareholders or whatever, right? So if I incorporate in Luxembourg or Delaware or some other tax haven state, there would be no point because I would still be passing through all of the wages to me in Nebraska, which means there's no point, right? I would still be paying all the tax in Nebraska, so I might as well just incorporate in Nebraska, unless it's actually cheaper. Delaware has the most fair. Yeah, exactly. So like I don't think it makes sense to file an S corp in a tax haven state, since all of the income is going to be passed through eventually to Nebraska anyway. Incorporating in Delaware gives you the best legal protection. Yeah, but like the corporation, the reason why I'm doing the S corp is because of structuring the income differently. I don't really need protection, right? Like I don't need like liability, like an LLC. Like I don't need like liability because of debt or anything like that. You know, it's just for a different tax structure. It doesn't matter where you incorporate. What you pay to yourself is always taxed. The reason you create a corporation is separate from that. You personally will always pay your own income and state tax. Well, but a corporation has to pay, isn't it? A corporation has to pay tax on the income that the corporation earns. But on an S corp, the corporation doesn't actually pay any tax. All of that tax is passed through to shareholders, right? Isn't that like the big difference between an S corp versus a corporation? Whereas like on an LLC, couldn't I just have the business pay a tax on that income and hold that income in a different state would be the difference? It was what I was under the impression of. It doesn't matter, you have to pay the income tax either way. Well, but on an S corp, you don't have to pay the sole proprietor or self-employment tax on the income that you pay out as a dividend via a shareholder, right? Which is the whole point of forming an S corp, right? Is for the more favorable tax structure. What is your reasoning for doing this? What do you hope to gain? Well, the idea, so from my understanding, an S corp will allow you to maintain a similar schedule of business expenses and business deductions, which will allow you to knock money off of that taxable income. But the S corp will also allow you to pay. You can separate your income into two different categories. One, you can pay yourself a normal wage. So you would pay yourself. I would pay myself what, 40, 50,000 to live in Nebraska, and then the rest of that income would be paid to me as a dividend. And the income that I pay to myself as a dividend as a shareholder is income that isn't subject to the same self-employment tax that the wages that I make as a sole proprietor are subject to, which is a hugely favorable tax structure compared to what I pay now, right? Would be the whole point. The whole point of an S corp would be to avoid the self-employment tax on some percentage of my income is the purpose of making the S corp. Destiny, who cares? I literally titled my stream fucking talking about boring business shit. Fucking kill yourself. I'll play Dark Souls in a little bit. Fucking fuck off. Destiny, you just have to pay different taxes. Yeah, but the taxes are way, way, way less. That's the whole point. And self-employment tax is the most brutal fucking tax in the fucking universe. Self-employment tax is fucking horrible. Is it possible to pay 100% of your earnings through a dividend? No, you can't do that because the IRS forces you to pay yourself a living wage from your. So let's say you made 100,000. I couldn't pay myself 5,000 and then pay out 95,000 in dividends. You would have to pay yourself an appropriate wage, which I guess leaves you open to IRS scrutiny. But that's okay. I can pay myself a living wage easily for Nebraska and still have a very decent percentage of my income not being subject to self-employment tax. Is the whole point of an S corp. You should be aware that S corps are significantly more complicated from a tax and legal standpoint than LLCs. So if you form an S corp, know that you're going to be spending a great many more billable hours with your accountant/attorney. Well, kind of, yeah. But I think that for the most part, for me, it'll be relatively simple because it's not like I have a bunch of assets or whatever. That like I don't need to shield myself from liability from debt. Is a big reason why people form LLCs or form any other kinds of corporations, right? Is just to shield yourselves from the liability of whatever the business venture is, right? But I don't really need to do that. I'm just looking for a more favorable tax structure on my income. Right? how bad is self-employment tax in the US? Self-employment tax in the US is fucking brutal. If you, basically, what most people have, self-employment income earned in the self-employment tax rate is 15.3%. This 15.3% goes on top of your federal and state income tax. It's fucking massive. For most people, it's not this bad because your employer will pay half of it. But when you're self-employed, you pay twice as much as the average person. Yeah, for the S-Corp, if my business fails or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's not like I have to file bankruptcy for protection of my assets or anything. It's because it's not that kind of a business, right? So it's not, or at least not yet, until we start buying up Destiny condos. So I really need to file, I really would need to get all of these forms. Do you file with a 1099? Well, you file a 1040, right? And then you have to do a Schedule SE for... An LLC will allow for pass-through taxation in the same manner. Is that actually true? Both are typically pass-through tax entities, while S-Corp must file a business tax return. LLCs only file tax returns. LLC has more than one owner. With pass-through taxation, no income taxes are paid at the business level. Can an LLC pay dividends? Business profit or losses pass through. Okay. Can LLC pay dividends is the important thing. Limited liability members do not receive dividend payments. Only shareholders of a corporation. So I don't want it. So why would I file an LLC? What would be the purpose of me filing an LLC? Esports Batman. Fucking Forbes. God, I fucking hate this landing page. Holy shit, it's so annoying. You would file it because you would avoid the self-employment tax. If I file for an LLC? No, I wouldn't. If I file an LLC and I pay myself $100,000 in wages, what's going to happen is I'll pay my normal FICA tax, but then the LLC will have to pay the other half of it, which in effect will mean that I'm paying self-employment tax. Would it not? Am I missing something there? I would be paying self-employment tax. I'd just be doing it in a different way. S Corporation, SE avoidance still a solid strategy. Oh, this is essentially what I'm doing, maybe, right? The decision case shows that S Corps are still a valid self-employment tax avoidance strategy. If you operate as a sole proprietorship, all of its income will be subject to self-employment tax. If you put the business into S Corp, none of the income will be subject to self-employment tax. Entrepreneurs will be inclined to heavily discount any decrease in future business. So organizing and avoiding self-employment seems like a no-brainer for a sole proprietor. The exposure, there's a catch. And the C Corp arena, the IRS is wont to argue that very high salaries are disguised dividends. With S corporations, the service may take the position that corporate distributions are actually disguised salary. I'm okay with this. I'm not gonna make it so that like I'm paying myself a wage of $20,000 and then giving myself like $2 million in dividends. I'm not gonna do something autistic like that. That could be pretty ugly since the penalties for being late with payroll tax are fairly stiff, which I'm only got hit for over $10,000 in FICA Medicare tax. That did not really prove that the S corp low or no payment was a bad idea. I mean, nothing venture, nothing gain. What is a nasty 6,000 sum penalties? Explaining things like this throws back to my elaborate analysis needs to be translated in terms of the client would understand. After examining so much of the analysis, as he thought relevant, I would say the client don't be a chaser. The more elaborate version of that caution on the limits of aggressiveness and tax planning where pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered. That's a good one. What the McGallery case teaches us is that you can't use an S corp to avoid. It's not that you can't use an S corp to avoid SE payroll tax. It teaches that you really should not use a strategy to avoid SE such payroll taxes entirely. Okay, cool. This is exactly what I'm looking to do. Check the tax for an LLC. They may be lower than sole proprietorship. I don't understand tax structure LLC. I don't understand why you think the LLC would be lower. If I pay myself $50,000 in wages from an LLC, then my wages would be, I would pay myself, would I just do it via W-2? If I paid myself via W-2, do LLCs pay W-2? Is it true that an LLC owner cannot get W-2 income? It's true that an LLC cannot get W-2 income. A limited liability could deduct its employees' wages. Business ways reducing the income. Owner of the LLC, however, aren't employees of the business, therefore can't be paid wages. Sometimes called W-2 income. The exception. Oh, so how do you pay? How does LLC pay employees, I guess? The S corp is the only option if you want to do this. Yeah, that's kind of what I think. And then just seeing an article that literally is talking exactly about what I want to do kind of reaffirms that. Or I've seen several. If you own an LLC, you pay yourself by simply taking money out of the LLC's account. If you do that, then isn't the LLC taxed directly? It's not like a draw. These distributions of LLC are referred to as draws, and they are fundamentally different. From the salary, hourly wages, and salaries. Federal and state tax don't held. married couples, I don't care. If you really pay yourself as an employee, incorporate your business. Doing this will let you pay yourself a reasonable salary and also write off the cost of getting yourself fringe benefits. Okay. I don't think I want an LLC. I don't think an LLC has anything to do with anything with what I want to do. Okay, so this will be my business venture for tomorrow morning, I guess, since I did everything I needed to do this morning. I need to start downloading these forms, and I need to fill everything out. What is this going to cost? Like $1,000? Jesus fuck. How authorized capital stock? What do I evaluate my company, or what do I evaluate my company as? Can I just make a number up? How do you even determine? So I would be a sole stockholder in my company, right? Could I sell stock in my company? That'd be fucking awesome. We'll just say amount of authorized capital stock. We'll just say 50,000. I don't even know. Plus domestic insurance companies. I don't know what that means. Application for reserved name. Notice of transfer of reserved name. Probably not going to do that. Change of registered agent / office. Agent statement of change. Agent statement of registration. Articles of amendment. Restatement of articles of incorporation with articles of amendment. Articles of application for late reinstatement. Oh, this isn't going to be that bad. This will be less than $1,000, right? You can sell stock, but you're limited in how you can do it. I think that an S corp can only offer one class of stock. S corps can sell stock, but they can only have a single class. Yeah, and you have to be really careful because if you fuck up and you offer a second class of stock, you just instantly lose your S corp filing status, I think.
Destiny, you are going to make great condos. It will be the best condos. And let me tell you something, it's gonna be a real beauty.
Does it mean you can move your company overseas to dodge taxes? I don't think so. I don't think, but I wouldn't, that would be like, I think that would be too aggressively structured. I don't want to be like a huge fucking piece of shit. I just want to be like a kind of a sort of a little bit of a piece of shit. I don't even know, I am completely ignorant though as to what tax structure I would have to utilize in order to move profits overseas. I don't even know if I'd be able to do that. Okay, so this is what I need to do tomorrow, I guess. I need to start working on this bullshit. I wonder if I should get like a lawyer. Oh wait, I wonder if Kyle can do this shit. Yeah, it's technically not tax evasion, it's tax avoidance. Well, I don't even think you'd call it tax avoidance, right? Because everything is legal. It's just aggressively structuring your income in such a way to maximize your take-home income or to minimize your tax burden. We are aggressively restructuring my income to minimize my tax burden. That's what we're doing. Okay. Tax avoidance is legal. Okay, I guess you're right. Yeah, you're right. Oh, fuck. I need to do this. I should have done this in the fucking beginning. Where were the lawyers to help people? I would have paid so much money. Do you have any idea how much money this service would be worth to somebody like me? Like, I could have easily paid somebody $5,000 and this would be worth it just to form an S corp. I'm surprised that there's not like a lawyer or somebody that goes around to streamers like Soda Poppin' or Phantom Lord or whatever and offers to structure their income in this way. You would save so much fucking money. Like, it's insane. It's actually insane that this is even legal. Like, it's ridiculous how much money you save. Another minor tax-saving benefit also flows from subchapter S status. Probably an S corporation is a safer tax return to put tax deductions on. And no corporate income tax. Oh my god. Destiny, there are lawyers that offer that. Yeah, but I'm saying that, I'm just saying that, like, I'm surprised that somebody didn't go around early on to streamers, like somebody working in finance or some accountant or whatever didn't go around offering these services to people. Because I guarantee you that most streamers don't have their income structured like this. I think Forzen actually went to a lawyer or some tax guy to sort of shit out. You have to go, one of the problems with doing tax related shit is that if you want good advice, you have to pay for it. Oh my fucking god, dude. In 2012, I went to fucking H&R Block before I knew how to actually do my taxes. What a fucking disaster, dude. Oh my fuck, I have never been fucked so hard by somebody so incompetent before in my entire life. If you're making decent money and you have anything more complicated, here's my life advice. Okay, you ready for some big fucking Destiny tier fucking life advice? If you are filing taxes and your taxes involve more than W-2 income, do not ever talk to the low level fucking frontline employee at H&R Block or TurboTax or whatever store you go into. Never, ever, 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 ever fucking do that. You will always get fucked. Do not ever fucking do that. If you have taxes that are more complicated than W-2 income, go and find a fucking CPA. Go to a business where you have to pay $500 to have somebody look at your fucking taxes. Like, absolutely, it is absolutely worth them. You're not even spending money. You're saving money at that point. I fucking promise you. When I went to H&R Block for 2012 because I needed help with my taxes, the guy that I went to had me paying self-employment and federal and state income tax on the $35,000 that I raised for charity. He said there was no way that I could avoid it. He had me paying taxes on that entire amount. Oh my fucking God, I got so fucked. In the first 2 years that I did streaming and I didn't know anything about taxes, I got so fucked on my taxes because I didn't know what I was doing. And then I finally did the research and learned how to do this shit myself so that I don't get fucked by a horrible fucking, oh my God, the absolute fucking savaging. Holy shit. Holy shit. That sounds stupidly wrong, and I thought it was, but that guy doing my taxes for me was what finally encouraged me to start to learn how to do them myself, because holy shit. And then I had to file an amended tax return, and that was a whole separate fucking nightmare, because I was basically telling the IRS, hey, there was like $40,000 of money that I said I earned last year. I really didn't. I promise, I'm not lying. I actually didn't. And oh my God. And then I had to worry about, I still don't know if I'm gonna get audited for that year's tax returns because of how fucking shady that shit was. Like, Jesus Christ. Did you go back and get that guy fired? No, because all they do, if you go and talk to a low-level employee, what you're paying for, this is, okay, so now I'm talking a little bit of bullshit because I don't actually know, but this is my impression. If you go to a tax place like H&R Block and you talk to a low-level employee, what you are paying them to do is you are paying them to look at your papers and enter the number onto their computer program, and then it will spit back out the answer. That's all you're paying them to do. Go and use TurboTax Online. Don't fucking pay someone to do that. When you pay a CPA or you pay somebody higher up to do your taxes, what you're paying them for is their expertise and knowledge of the tax system for them to give you an for them to give you an optimal tax strategy that makes sense for you, right? It's way better to pay an accountant than. What the fuck is TurboTax? TurboTax lets you do your taxes online relatively simply. If you have W-2 income, I feel like I feel like this goes in one ear and the other. If you have W-2 income, you should never be paying someone else to do your taxes. You can always do it yourself via TurboTax. Anybody you pay is ripping you off. Aww. Solar is now cheaper than coal, says India Energy Minister. I don't believe him. Is that actually true? Oh, it's from Futurology, so it's probably a bullshit article. Never mind. If you're self-employed or have a lot of sources of income, it's different state taxes are extremely hard even on TurboTax. I mean, it's doable on TurboTax. I do my taxes on TurboTax. It's more complicated for sure, and you have to pay an extra $100 for like the home business version, but it's doable. But I would still recommend that you actually talk to like a tax person beforehand just to make sure all your shit is straight. Here in Germany, the government pays you 4 to 10 times the amount for your green energy compared to... Well, yeah, but I mean, you can't say that something is better than something else because of subsidies. I mean, not from an overall standpoint. Not like the prime minister or whatever of India or whatever the fuck he's called can't say that. Watch Summit lose 30K in 30 seconds.
That's weird. Okay.
Okay, I don't know if everybody realizes these websites, when they contact you to sponsor you, they give you the money to gamble on here. You guys realize that, right? Usually they'll say like you're allowed to take like 20% of it in withdrawal or whatever. But when you see these streamers gambling on these sites, they're being given the money to gamble. They're not actually losing their own money. I don't know if people.
It's still a lot of money to lose.
Yeah, I know, but like people look at this like Summit just lost like 30,000 of his own dollars or whatever, and